The 2D Metroidvania roguelite market is probably the most fleshed out among the indie gaming scene. So for a game to stand out, it really needs to offer something special. Dead Cells doesn't only do this, but it excels in almost every area. Its pixel perfect combat, slick visuals and cute snippets of story all make Dead Cells one of the best games to release this year. As with pretty much all Metroidvanias, Dead Cells simply throws you into the world with little information and even fewer tutorials. It doesn't take long to pick up the basic combat of the game. You can roll, hold 2 weapons and hold 2 pieces of equipment, but despite the simple to understand mechanics, mastering them is a whole new ballgame and one that is a sheer pleasure to play in. Slashing or blasting your way through the stages of Dead Cells is no easy task, but the game always provides you with the perfect arsenal to do so. At the start, there are about 6 different weapon types for you to select from, including swords, whips, shields and bows. But each category has a myriad of options. For example, you may find a bow that only does critical damage at close range, or a sword that is doused in oil, so pair it with a burning item and it's boom time for the enemies. Almost every weapon comes with an ability that can offer a genuine difference to your playthrough. One of the most impressive elements to the vast selection of weapons is their versatility. Early on in my time with Dead Cells, I just assumed that the different weapons were there to cater for different play styles, but daring to stretch out of my comfort zone proved that this wasn't the case. They're actually there to promote different play styles, and every weapon is as powerful as any other in the right situation. This was most notable to me when using the Spartan boots. So often I dropped this kicking melee weapon. As well, why would you take a pair of boots over a sword? But when I had no other option, I thought I'd give them a try, only to realise that kicking an enemy into a wall or off a ledge is a one-hit kill. Suddenly I found myself completely changing how I'd spent my first 5 hours with the game to now accommodate for my new best friend. This is a testament to developers Twinmotion for creating such an equal balance between the weapon selection that you can't help but be intrigued as to what the new shiny toy does. The same goes for the 2 items of equipment that you can carry. These come in the form of mini turrets, grenades and magical spells like ice blasts. Just like their weapon counterparts, every time I unlocked a new item to collect, I would have to sit and debate with myself as to what was the best option going forward, something I haven't done in a video game since playing Bloodborne. If this loadout customization wasn't enough for you, then at the end of each section where you get to restock your health and hand in your collected cells, you can also equip a new mutagen. These come in an array of styles that are broken down into 3 different categories: brutality, which is shown as red, tactics, which is shown as purple, and survival, which is shown as green. Just as their name suggests, they offer some pretty powerful passives. For example, a brutality mutagen would add up to 150 DPS to your weapon for 15 seconds after killing an enemy, and a tactical one was to reduce the cooldown of your equipment. My personal favourite was a survival mutagen that restored 2 HP for every enemy that I killed. Now, 2 HP is literally nothing, but scattered throughout the world are scrolls that you can use to upgrade one of the 3 areas, and by focusing my attention on the survival area, a long playthrough would see that stat increase to 15 to 17 health points for every enemy killed. Not too shabby if you ask me. Now, you would think that it is a sheer array of brilliantly balanced weapons, equipment and player fitting mutagens that are the star of the combat in Dead Cells, but I'm afraid you would be wrong. That award goes to the evading role. Seriously, this role is perfect. The startup animation, the iframes during the roll, all the way down to its length. The most impressive and useful element to this role is how it allowed you to move out of an attack animation. We've all been in situations where we've died due to being stuck in an animation. Well, a quick tap of the roll button and a direction of your choice and you're out of there in no time. I should point out that this doesn't get you out of combo animations, but that's kind of your fault for button bashing anyway. I cannot stress how many times this little fella got me out of sticky situations, and mastering the role is key if you wish to succeed in Dead Cells. As you can probably imagine, just like every other roguelite, the combat here is not easy. Dead Cells does a very good job of making you feel invincible, like you are king of the 2D roguelite genre, like literally nothing in the world can stop you. But this sense of triumph is often short-lived, as you'll come across a new set of enemies that require a completely new approach, or an elite enemy that requires pixel-perfect counters to take them down. If you think these guys are hard, then wait until you meet the bosses. Wow. These titanous enemies require your utmost attention to not only study their animation and timings, but also execute your attacks in the perfect window, or it's back to the beginning for you. But with risk comes great reward, and taking down these bosses will see you bathed in cells, gold, and very powerful weapons and equipment. The best tangible comparison for the combat in Dead Cells is to think of it as a 2D Bloodborne, where every aggressive movement on your part has potential to work, and death normally falls down to a mistake that you made. As I mentioned at the beginning, Dead Cells is a rouge-lite, so upon death you start back at the beginning with only a small amount of your progress carrying over. Here it's your spent cells that carry over, and you can spend them on permanent upgrades like additional health pots, better starting weapons, or more starting gold. They also can be spent on weapon blueprints, which you'll find by defeating bosses and elite enemies. One of the most inconsistent things I find in roguelites is the ability to make the player's time feel rewarded and worthwhile, which, in all honesty, Dead Cells absolutely nails. Whether you're jumping in for 10 minutes to blitz through a daily dungeon or sticking around for a 2-hour session, every venture through these prison walls is rewarded in some way. Whether it's because you chipped away at another 6 cells on that huge health upgrade, or the fact that you took down an elite enemy and unlocked a permanent rune. I've not once put the controller down after my 47 playthroughs and thought, well, that was a waste of time. One of the hidden gems in Dead Cells is how it handles its storytelling. Playing through the different sections of the game, you'll come across various rooms or set pieces that will hold a written letter, a dead body, or some other rather morbid piece of information. Although interacting with these only provides a small snippet of text, the effectiveness of this text, coupled with the great animation of your character, does a brilliant job in providing enough information for you. I often found myself hunting through the environments to try and find more of these mini story sections and try to piece together what was happening in this world, and found great pleasure in trying to build this puzzle story in my head. Dead Cells is quite simply one of the best games to release this year. Making your way through the stunning pixel environments time and time again just doesn't get boring, which is mostly due to the plethora of secrets to be found and new story snippets to be sniffed out. The combat is some of the best I've played in any video game and gives you everything you need to not only overcome your enemies but feel like an absolute boss in doing so. I've delved into the depths of Dead Cells 47 times so far and have absolutely no plans on stopping until every single item, mutagen or rune is in my possession.